Hello guys and welcome back to another video with Bitblond. Today, let's have a look on the actual crypto market stats and why Bitcoin is struggling once more, and it could also be another opportunity. Before we get into any content, I would love to do my quick disclaimer. None of this content is a financial advice. You must do your own market research. As always, yeah. So let's get straight into the BTC price move action. I believe if you haven't entered any position yet, it could be a opportunity. Let's have a look together. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know how is your financial life going, y'all. However, guys, if you are attending Dubai Blockchain Live Forum 2025, links down below to the event. And if you want to have a crypto coffee, please let's say GM in person, and I would love to meet you. Just come say hi and let's have some crypto talks. However, the price of Bitcoin it's currently at 1 and 12K today, 0.641. Kinda building a new deep, which could be an interesting entry for whoever didn't enter before on the support zone. However, we still have to hold, and this is the 4 hourly time frame, so it takes 4 hours to confirm. However, you need to be careful as always when it comes to trading, but long-term talking, Bitcoin is one of the top assets to be holding these days according to our current economy and everything. I will always stand for Bitcoin first of all than any other altcoin, even knowing that I'm very strong on Ethereum as well and other small ones that I can just do another video about it. But however, Bitcoin is still the king, yeah, of cryptocurrency, or the queen, who knows. However, if we do hold at this level, it's an interesting longing opportunity. We might retest one more time the 200 EMA to decide what could play next. If you can't afford to lose, do not trade, or if you can afford, just trade. It's up to you, really, your financial life. However, I believe, me personally, that we might see a bullish momentum again once more, as the market it's full of manipulation. That's how this industry is built. However, let's move to the latest news according to Cointelegraph, and also we can check the sentiment, yeah, on another website. Let me just share with you the latest news according to Cointelegraph about Bitcoin today. And yes, here we go. Bitcoin struggles at 113K as the Fed Bowman hits at faster rate cut. So today we had the United States rate cut, and Bitcoin traders revealed that the new BTC price bottom tags as BTC price action wobbles, while a dovish Fed speech offer boosts little relief. So as I mentioned, I'm also bullish. I think it could be a potential bounce back for us as long as you can manage to risk is an interesting entry. However, long-term talking is still the best. The key point is that Bitcoin faced problems recovering from its dip from to 112K as the traders agree on the odds of the fresh dip. And Nasdaq performance is on the radar as overheated the RSI conditions raised concern over a crypto knock-on effect. A senior Federal Reserve official put faster interest rate cuts on the table. The Bitcoin attempt to flip 130K to support on Wednesday as traders buckle up for BTC price weakness into the Q4. And remember, we're just entering the Q4 of the year. Here is the screenshot provided by Cointelegraph and TradingView. The new BTC price bottom targets include 108,000 according to Cointelegraph. Market Pro and TradingView show that BTC USD hovering near its daily opening level. The pair show only a modest rebound from its slump into the lowest level in the nearly 2 weeks, with 100.600 current support. And however, we still might be able to revisit the zone As I mentioned before, it's also a probability. Commenting on the latest price action, market participants focused on likely bounce levels is the event of a fresh dip and mentioned, I'm interested to see whether BTC will hold these crucial levels for support. If that's the case, then 115K upwards would be the next clear resistance point. Crypto trader, analyst, and entrepreneur Michael Van de Pope responded on X and mentioned, if not, probably another cascade to 106, 180K might be the buy zone. So if we don't hold and retest the 200 EMA again at 150K, we might go lower to 106, 180K. Both scenarios are probabilities. Here is his on screenshot. You can just go there, check yourself, and have a deep look. Provided by Michael Van Pope /X. A popular trader, Bitblond also had a downturn on the radar with the 100-day exponential moving average EMA of particular interest. The BTC bounced back from its daily EMA 100 level, but it could see further dump too. He told X followers on the day, last time BTC lost this level, which resulted in a capitulation with the Q4 coming. I think whales will try to push BTC below this level to create max pain. And here is the screenshot provided by Bitbull on X, which is also interesting. He's looking into the 100 EMA. I'm looking into the 200 EMA. They both very, very accurate. It's just depending on whatever you want to track on the market. Yeah. Crypto investors and entrepreneur Ted Pillows, meanwhile, eyed the relationship between Bitcoin and the Nasdaq. Interesting. 100 index as seen through the relative strength index, the RSI. I personally do not use the RSI, but it could be very correlated as well. And mentioned Nasdaq daily RSI has reached 78, its highest level since July 2024. He observed and mentioned last time Nasdaq daily RSI was this high, a 70% dump happened in the 2-3 weeks. And because crypto is highly correlated to the Nasdaq, a dump will happen in BTC and alts too. So it's also a probability according to him following the Nasdaq. However, sometimes we can be very correlated to US markets. Sometimes the market can do the opposite. We need to be prepared for both scenarios, as that's how the market is. Yeah. So it's the screenshot provided by Ted Pillows on X, and a 70% carry retracement for the coin's price would put BTC around 94K. I still believe that we're not going to dip that low, but however, it's still a probability if we are correlated to the Nasdaq. If not, it won't happen. Either way, it could be a possibility. The bullman sees the faster pace on the Fed rate cuts, the fresh hint of an interest rate cut, or the US Federal Reserve were not enough to improve the mood. And this came in the form of a speech by Vince Chair for Supervision, Michelle Bowman, in which she warned that the Fed risk being behind the curve on cuts. So US is always in trouble with some, random news. Just, I'm not very political, but just let's put it that way and mention, in my view, the recent data, including the estimate payroll employment benchmark revisions, show that we are at serious risk of already being behind the curve in addressing the deteriorating labor market conditions, she told the 2025 Kentucky Bankers Association. I hope that is the one in Asheville, North Carolina. And mentioned, should these conditions continue, I am concerned that we will need to adjust the policy at a faster pace and to a large degree going forward. Earlier, Cointelegraph reported on analysis from former BitMEX CEO Arthur Haynes, in which he argued that US President Donald Trump would use senior Fed officials to influence policy. Trump has vocally demanded rate cuts through 2025, even threatening to notify Fed Chair Jerome Powell over this issue. Powell himself was due to speak at the Greater Providence, however, Chamber of Commerce 2025 Economic Outlook, and yeah, that was later this Tuesday. However, we have multiple things to look at when it comes to the political side, and most times, who knows those numbers, right? I don't want to put the word out there, but sometimes, they can just tell whatever they want to the word. And personally, I believe they always tell you a different number that actually occurs. However, we just are talking, in general. If we follow the Nasdaq, it could potentially go down. If not, we will likely to see a bounce back, and this moment of support can become a buying momentum. However, long-term talking, I still stand for cryptocurrency and decentralized markets, as our current economy, it's absolutely collapsing. Anyways, guys, if you are interested on Blockchain Live Forum, I'll see you there, and it will be nice to meet you. And it's not the only event I'm doing here, okay? I also will attend Invest Web3 Forum 2025, which is going to happen on 15th of October. I will leave the link down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. However, let's wait on a BTC price reaction. Still Tuesday, and we're still looking at the 4-hourly time frame. So there's a lot to observe sometimes and no actions to take, unless if you want to risk your money. And if you do, good luck. I'll see you soon. Thank you.